Magnus Carlsen's Lightning wins, the moments that defined his career. With 3 minutes on the clock for both players, Magnus wastes no time and kicks off the game with a dazzling move, Ponzi e4. Sergei Karjakin responds with a bold e5, and as the game progresses, the battlefield transforms into the famous Roy Lopez opening, a territory where Magnus feels quite at home. Trading his knight and bishop with lightning speed, Magnus effortlessly guides his pieces into position, leaving Sergei's head spinning. Sergei, determined not to be intimidated, casts his king, causing Magnus to ponder his next move for a few brief seconds before following suit. The tension rises as the players make a few more moves, and Magnus launches a relentless assault on Sergei's knight. But Sergei fights back, striking Magnus's knight and forcing him to retreat momentarily. Sergei's face contorts with intense contemplation before he makes his next move, the fatal blunder. Magnus seizes the opportunity and unleashes a fierce attack, positioning his pieces closer and closer to Sergei's exposed king. With Sergei's knight relocating to e6, Magnus seizes the open file, plotting a masterful strike against Sergei's monarch. Sergei realizes he's in deep trouble, his brow furrowed with extended thought. As they trade knights and bishops, the tension builds, and then Magnus executes a dazzling maneuver, exchanging rooks and introducing his queen to the fray. Sergei musters his defense against the incoming onslaught, but Magnus is relentless. He strikes with queen g6, delivering a check and snatching a pawn, but he's not done yet. Magnus proceeds to capture a rook, tightening his stranglehold on the game. With a few more artful moves, Magnus lands the final blow, placing his piece onto f6, creating checkmate after queen g7. Sergei's chances of victory crumble to dust under the weight of Magnus's brilliance. And would you believe it? After completing this chess symphony, Magnus still had nearly 2 minutes remaining on his clock, having spent a mere minute to vanquish the super chess grandmaster. A display of sheer genius and strategic wizardry. Hold on to your hats though, because Magnus's next conquest is none other than the titan of technology himself, Bill Gates, one of the richest men alive. And get this, Magnus topples him in a mere 12 seconds on the clock. Bill Gates, wielding the white pieces, opens confidently with e4. Magnus counters swiftly, maneuvering his knight to c6, setting the stage for a thrilling clash. With lightning speed, Magnus strikes at the center, moving his pawn to e4. As the game progresses, both players develop their pieces, engaging in a captivating exchange of pawns. Magnus, sensing an opportunity, plays c4 with audacious aggression, pressuring his opponent to make a move. Impatience courses through Magnus as he taps the table with his piece, urging Gates to respond. Then, in a burst of brilliance, Magnus introduces his knight into the battle, positioning it ominously near Gates' king. A deadly attack looms on the horizon as Magnus advances his pawn to h6, tightening the grip on Gates' defense. Gates ponders his option, using his time wisely, but he falls into the trap, capturing Magnus's knight. Little did Gates know he has sealed his own fate. Magnus, displaying his tactical prowess, swiftly moves his rook into position, ready to pounce on Gates' exposed king. Like a novice, Gates captures Magnus's knight without a second thought. The game then slips through Gates' finger, lost in the abyss of defeat. And then the final blow. Magnus delivers the checkmate, utilizing his queen to devastating effect. And what a swift victory it was. A mere 9 moves and less than 12 seconds on the clock. Magnus Carlsen conquers one of the richest men in the world. It's an extraordinary feat that leaves us all in awe of Magnus's unrivaled talent. But, dear audience, the show doesn't end there. Magnus has yet another astounding triumph in store for us. Brace yourself as he faces off against the renowned explorer and formidable chess player Lars Monsen. Magnus, with only a few seconds remaining on the clock, must execute a checkmate against his illustrious opponent. The battle commences as Magnus opens with his trusty weapon, pawn to e4. Monsen counters with the Sicilian defense, a solid choice indeed. As the opening moves unfold, Magnus launches his first strike, positioning his knight to create a fork and force a trade. The tension builds as Magnus introduces his queen to the game, signaling his intentions clearly. Monsen, sensing danger, attempts to attack Magnus's queen, but Magnus deftly evades the threat. Confusion clouds Monsen's face as he struggles to find his next move, and there it is. Monsen, in a critical moment, decides to castle. Little does he know that this ill-fated move seals his doom. Magnus, seizing the opportunity, places his bishop on g3, launching a double pin on Monsen's queen, while menacingly threatening further attacks. Magnus's knight joins the fray, capturing a seemingly free bishop, as Magnus had anticipated. Although all seems well on Monsen's side, his position is far from safe. With Monsen foolishly taking Magnus's knight, the game slips further from his grasp. Magnus proceeds to bring his rook into play, menacingly targeting Monsen's king. Monsen valiantly pushes a pawn forward, but Magnus capitalizes on this opportunity, seizing another pawn and positioning his queen closer to Monsen's vulnerable king. With a couple more masterful moves, Monsen places his queen on f7, unknowingly offering it as a sacrificial lamb. Magnus, without hesitation, captures the queen for free. Catastrophic blunder indeed. In a desperate attempt to salvage the situation, Monsen accidentally knocks over the clock, wasting precious seconds of Magnus's remaining time. And ladies and gentlemen, behold the grand finale. Magnus encircles Monsen's king, promoting his pawn to a queen. Monsen's time runs out, and victory is within Magnus's grasp. The game ends, they exchange handshakes, and Monsen concedes defeat, fully aware that Magnus has outwitted him in a matter of seconds. It's an outstanding display of brilliance, leaving us all in the awe of Magnus Carlsen's genius. The incredible saga of Magnus Carlsen, the undisputed champion of the chessboard. With each move he captivates us, leaving us spellbound by his strategic genius and his lightning-fast victories. Let us applaud this modern-day chess maestro, the absolute virtuoso of the chessboard. If you like this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and make sure to hit the bell icon so you will always get the very latest from us first.